Zeno's hands slowly rose as he began charging a terrifying energy. The air grew heavy and suffocating, to the point that the entire place began to shake as if it were about to fall out of existence. The friends were terrified. No one understood what was happening. One of them shouted, "What happened to him? How did he manifest in such a terrifying form?" Eyes were filled with fear and shock. Only Goku remained steady. He held his child in his arms, not trembling. He simply looked at Zeno with a different gaze, saying to himself, "This is the worst thing I will face in my life. Not because you are stronger than me, Zeno, but because I must tear the roots of this curse out of you without killing you." The energy charging was completed. The energy sphere transformed into a distorted sun, pressing down on reality around it, swallowing light, warping dimensions. Then Zeno spoke in a cold voice. "Everything was built upon your wishes without paying the debt. Therefore, everything will return to zero. Total purification." Then he hurled the energy sphere down with brutal force. A massive explosion covered everything. Waves of energy swept across the planet, then expanded through space, shaking neighboring universes. Beings that had never seen this planet felt it. Entire dimensions trembled, and the very fabric of existence itself shuddered everywhere, in every universe. Long seconds passed, then the dust began to settle. Silence returned, heavy, terrifying. The friends, all of them were standing, alive, without a scratch, without a wound, without destruction. The planet itself was still there. Zeno clenched his fist, his eyes ignited with rage when he saw the scene. Goku was standing at the forefront, his arm extended forward, having blocked the attack with only one hand. And the child, still in his arms, safe, calm, as if nothing had happened. A stunned voice came from among the friends. "Impossible!" Another said. "Zeno's power surpasses everything. How did everyone endure?" Shock paralyzed everyone, but Goku knew the truth. He said to himself calmly, "If not for this planet, which was built with ancient layers of protection from that treacherous queen, and if not for this child, nothing would have remained even if I had blocked the attack." Goku slowly turned toward Chi-Chi and Goten and said in a steady voice, "Take good care of the child. This child is the reason you endured. The pure power of the Dragon Balls that Zalama implanted within him is the true shield that protected you." Shock struck everyone. Chi-Chi took her child back again, holding him tightly, and Goten stood beside her, looking at Zeno in fear. At that moment, Zeno's rage exploded. His energy surged, his aura expanded. Intended to erase this existence in a single stroke, but it seems I will start with you first. Zeno suddenly launched forward at an untraceable speed, his eyes blazing with blind fury. Then, it was not just an attack, it was an existence colliding with another existence. The sound was like mountains shattering from the inside, his eyes widening in shock. "What is this power? I didn't expect you to pierce my defense this way." Zeno did not give him a moment. He stepped closer coldly. "After your end, I will leave nothing standing. No planet, no family, no memory, no existence." Then he lunged at him, a terrifying barrage of punches, blows so fast that the eyes could not follow them. Goku received the strikes one after another, his body shaking. Then one focused attack, a crushing blow to his face, pure, concentrated, devastating.
Goku was on his knees. He said in a choked inner voice, "I don't want to fight with my true power. If I do that, I will kill you. But I must think carefully how to exploit the pure power of Dragon Balls to nullify the curse inside you." Zeno advanced toward him slowly. He was not in full control of his consciousness. Something else was guiding him, something dark. He grabbed him by the hair, forced his head up, and said, "Goku, is this all you have? It seems the first purification was enough. It's time for the second purification." Then he extended his hand, but not toward Goku, toward the friends. A terrifying energy sphere began to form. The friends screamed, "He's going to kill us! He'll blow us all up!" At that moment, something broke inside Goku. "Zeno, if the curse has blinded your insight and stolen your innocence, then forgive me. But my family is above everything, and my revenge on the Queen is my greatest goal." Goku charged forward with an attack for the first time, striking Zeno directly. His body was sent flying through the air. The friends froze. Goku did not stop. He clenched his fists and said, "I don't want to use my full power. That would end your life, but I will raise the intensity." He vanished, then appeared in front of Zeno. He grabbed him by the face. His fist dug into his features. He yanked him violently, then hurled him toward the ground. The impact created an explosion. Zeno crashed down with tremendous force, but Goku did not let him go. He pinned him firmly with one hand on his face, pressing his mouth and nose, choking him. He said in a cold voice filled with pain, "I am still enduring you and giving you time because killing you is not a victory, but I will raise the intensity more, just a little." Then he drove him into the ground with all his strength, a massive explosion, a planetary tremor, and Zeno vanished into the depths. The friends stood there, stunned. One of them whispered in a trembling voice, "Zeno, the being everyone fears, fell?" All eyes fixed on the deep crater that had swallowed Zeno. One of them stepped forward. "But there's one thing I don't understand. Zeno is capable of erasing all existence with a blink of an eye. If the curse truly took control of him, why didn't he end everything at once? Why all this fighting?" Goku's voice came from behind them, calm but deep. "Because the curse doesn't work that way. The curse doesn't grant absolute control. It changes your essence from the inside. It distorts the will, twists decisions, and reshapes thinking. When I was partially under its influence, I resisted, but there were some techniques I couldn't execute. Not because I was incapable, but because the curse imposed another style of fighting, a style that serves it, not the person. Power multiplies, but control is never complete. Zeno, by nature, is not a fighter, yet he has now become an extremely dangerous entity because he carries power he doesn't know how to use consciously." At that moment, Bola suddenly turned, her eyes falling on Vegeta's body lying on the ground. She approached with slow steps, her eyes filled with confusion, and whispered, "Dad?" Only seconds passed, and suddenly a strange purple light surrounded Vegeta's body. Not a known energy, not a battle aura, something dark. Then he vanished. A complete disappearance. No body, no trace, no energy. Emptiness. One of the friends shouted in shock, "Vegeta disappeared!" Another said in panic, "Only Goku's body remains. What is happening?" Goku clenched his fist tightly, his veins bulging. He did not speak immediately, but his expression said everything. He knew. He understood. He had expected this. Then he said, "Prepare yourselves. What's coming is far more dangerous." At that very moment, the crater began to shake. A light tremor, then stronger, then violent. One single second, then an explosion. Zeno erupted from the crater like a cosmic volcano, his body surrounded by blazing energy, rage overflowing from him. He spoke in a distorted voice. "Very well. It seems I will move to the final stage. I will burn through all the stages at once." Energy exploded around him. Light took form. his figure changed. He merged into a single terrifying shape, a new form, an entity forged by the curse itself. Everyone was stunned, but Goku was not surprised. He looked at him with terrifying calm and said, "The time of stalling is over." At that moment, Zeno did not utter a single word. Instead, he slowly extended both hands, as if time itself were slowing with him, and strange luminous symbols formed in his palms, symbols that carried no comprehensible meaning, yet bore the weight of an approaching catastrophic event. Suddenly, enormous symbolic circles began forming everywhere, around the friends, in the sky, surrounding them from all directions like a sealed cosmic network. The friends froze in place, their eyes filled with shock. No one understood what was happening until Zeno's own voice came, cold. The resistance that was preventing purification will now gradually be extinguished.
In the very next moment, those circles began to absorb something invisible, as if they were pulling a hidden essence from the place itself, an energy that was not combative, but existential. No one understood what was happening, but Goku realized, impossible. This planet is surrounded by a pure force. He's trying to remove it. There is no longer a choice. Either I end you, Zeno, or everyone will be erased. In a single instant, Goku and Zeno charged at each other. Overwhelming attack against overwhelming attack. A violent collision shook the entire area, but Zeno was more resilient this time. He delivered a massive punch that sent Goku flying backward and said in a dark voice, "Now I will fight freely, and the rest will be handled automatically." Goku, his eyes filled with rage, said, "He's going to remove the resistance that protects everyone first. I'll raise the intensity even more." Then his fury exploded, and he launched a direct attack into Zeno's abdomen, a crushing blow that pierced his defense. But Zeno laughed and said, "Goku, no matter how hard you try, you won't succeed, because inside you is a restraint that prevents you from killing me, and that is your weakness." Both sides raged and charged again, attack against attack, energy against energy. A cosmic explosion shook the ground, the sky, and the void. And yet, the planet did not crack, did not explode, and the friends were not harmed at all, because the resistance was still in place. And the resistance was not energy, it was not a shield, it was not a technique. It was the sleeping child in the arms of his mother, fearful for him, the child who carried within him the pure power of the Dragon Balls, the child who had not yet awakened, whose very existence alone was what prevented the end of existence. On the other side of existence, Vegeta had been pulled into a completely different place, the palace of the Supreme Queen. She was the one who brought him there. The reason was not clear, but her gaze was filled with calculation, not mercy. She said to herself as she looked at him, "Your training with me was not in vain, Vegeta. Your true fruits will not be yours, but mine." On the other side of the cosmic battle, Goku released his power in full, an existential scream, explosive energy, and in response, Zeno released his power as well. Pressure against pressure, power against power, a clash of two wills that knew no retreat. Then, a great explosion, and after the dust cleared, Goku was standing, while Zeno had fallen. Goku advanced toward him slowly and said in a weary but resolute voice, "I could have ended you from the beginning, Zeno, but I was searching for a solution. I did not wish destruction upon you, but my family is above everything." Zeno smiled, a cold, dark, terrifying smile, and said, "And who said I need your sympathy? What happened now is not the result. It's only the beginning." Then, with a single snap of his finger, energy blades emerged from the symbolic circles. Spikes shot directly toward Goku and pierced his body from all directions. Blood,
pain, internal rupture. Goku fell to his knees, screaming, "What is this? I feel as if my very essence is collapsing from the inside." Zeno stepped toward him and said in a dark voice, "This is not an ordinary attack. These spikes absorb the resistance itself, the resistance that was restraining my power." The friends were stunned. Shock paralyzed them. Goten rushed forward to save his father, but in a single moment, energy chains burst out of the symbolic circles and bound him. Then they bound everyone. No one could move. No one could intervene. Only Chi-Chi and her child remained free because the pure resistance was in her hands. But Zeno looked at them and said coldly, "Even that will end." He extended his hand. A direct energy shock. It struck Chi-Chi. She fell instantly. Her body collapsed. The child slipped from her hands. A shocking moment. He fell to the ground, eyes closed, while Chi-Chi lost her life beside him. Cosmic silence. Absolute shock. Goku screamed in pain and disbelief. Zeno said coldly, "Now it will be easier. I will end everything one by one." Goten exploded with rage. Despite being bound, he charged an energy sphere and hurled it towards Zeno. Explosion, dust, silence. Then Zeno appeared, unscathed. He said with terrifying calm, "The countdown has begun. Spirit for spirit." And suddenly, new energy spikes emerged from the symbolic circles and headed straight toward Goten, piercing his body completely. He could not resist. He was not like Goku. He could not endure the absorption. He fell to the ground, his life gone. Silence, shock, blood, pain, emptiness. Zeno stepped forward, looked at the small child lying near his mother's body, and said in a cold voice, "All right, let me finish this first. This little one is the reason preventing me from complete purification." He slowly raised his hand to aim, and at that moment, the impossible happened. The child opened his eyes for the first time, but they were not ordinary eyes. They carried a gaze born of overwhelming power. Everyone froze. Then, the greatest shock, the child stood up. A child just born, yet he stood on his feet, and with slow, innocent steps, he began to walk. Goku was shattered, but he lifted his head and saw him, his little son, walking toward him. The child drew closer, and Zeno stiffened in place. He did not understand, he could not comprehend, he could not explain it, until the child stood directly in front of Goku. Goku looked at him in absolute disbelief. The child extended his small hand and made his innocent baby sounds, and Goku said in a broken voice, "Am I dreaming? How did this happen, my little one?" Goku reached out his hand, and the child grasped it. At that moment, light burst forth, pure light, warm. It emerged from the child's body and gradually transferred into Goku's body. He began to feel relief, serenity, purity. He closed his eyes, then heard a voice, a deep voice, ancient, majestic, Zalama. He said to him, "It is time, Goku. The pure power that you and I transferred into this child was a reserve power stored within him as a final sanctuary." Then he said in a deeper voice, "This child was born before his time because he is the only one capable of bearing that power. His soul was not defiled, it was not corrupted, it never knew malice. Therefore, he was the perfect vessel." Then he continued, "Now he senses your power and channels it to you. Open your inner path and let purity enter." Believe in yourself. Deliver the finishing blow. The pure Dragon Ball power is at its highest level within you now. If you fail, nothing will remain.
Goku opened his eyes, and the child vanished. He no longer had a physical existence, and Goku felt something flowing from his hand, from his heart, from his soul. Tears fell from his eyes. I lost my family, but the child's power is inside me now. The power of absolute purity. I will never waste it. Zeno raged. The curse ignited within him even more, and he said, "Very well. It seems the obstacle is gone. Nothing will stand in my way now. I will completely destroy this planet and everyone on it." He raised his hand, and the lethal energy spikes began to form once again. But Goku slowly raised his head. "Forgive me, Zeno, but now I will never show sympathy to anyone." Goku screamed with everything left in his soul, clenched his fist with overwhelming force, and the air around him exploded into energy and light. And at that same moment, Zeno unleashed all the spikes. Not an attack, but annihilation. An entire sky of energy spikes, like a rain, like a storm. This time, Goku endured. He did not retreat. In his hand, a pure steel-like fist, forged from the absolute, untainted power of the Dragon Ball. Then he surged forward at an invisible speed, with a single scream, a single force, a single strike. Pure, direct. Time stopped. Everything froze then. Zeno fell, not as a monster, not as an entity, but as a broken child. His original form returned, his true face, and he was in pain. Goku turned toward him, then heard the voice, weak, broken. "Goku, please, come." Goku stepped forward slowly and carried him in his arms. He looked at him with tear-filled eyes and said in a broken voice, "Forgive me, Goku, forgive me. I wanted to save you. I wanted to bring you back to life. I saw a dream. I saw you being tortured. I saw them oppressing you. I went mad. I hated existence. I hated everything. Even my guards, even my world." Then, in a dying voice, he said, "I never wanted to be a monster. I only wanted to be your savior, but I became a curse." Goku did not say much. He only spoke in a calm, broken, warm voice. "You were a victim like us. The curse is the enemy, not you." Zeno smiled a small, peaceful smile and said his last words, "Thank you, Goku." Then his body turned into pure light and faded away. He disappeared. The friends were standing there stunned. None of them had ever seen Zeno like this before. On the other side, in the Supreme Royal Hall, the Supreme Queen gathered all her children. She raised her staff. A dense cosmic light burst from it. Then she said in a steady voice, "From now on, you have reached 100% of your power. No restraints, no barriers, no limits." She fell silent for a moment, then continued in a more dangerous tone. "Your father was a victim. I sacrificed him to protect you. I had no other choice. You are the most important thing in this existence. Everyone after you has no value. Stay here. I will intervene personally." On the other side, Goku stood and said with a voice full of determination, "I will fix everything, no matter the cost, and I will get rid of that traitor." Suddenly, without warning, chains burst from the depths of the planet itself, cosmic chains saturated with an ancient curse.
They wrapped around Goku from all directions, bound him, dragged him, and pinned him to the ground. The friends were shocked. No one understood what was happening. Then, a terrifying light radiated in the sky, and she appeared, the Supreme Queen in her full presence. Goku looked at her. His rage exploded, and he said in a blazing voice, "You finally appeared. Now I know everything. Your contempt, your silence, your betrayal of the trust." The friends understood nothing until she spoke. "Goku, I did not expect you to force me into this stage. At first, I wanted balance. I wanted to protect the angels, but now I no longer care about anyone." Goku shouted, "You are a traitor. Zalama's command was clear. You hid. You let the curse be born from your silence. Everything that happened is because of you. The curse, the destruction, the death, all of it because of your silence. I will make your death an eternal silence." "I don't think so, Goku." Then she extended her staff.
In a single moment, cosmic fractures appeared across the entire planet. The planet she herself had created, the one that was the size of universes. It began to split. Goku was bound, unable to move. Then, suddenly, his eyes turned toward his old body, the empty body, and he remembered and said to himself, "Zalama's technique, the one that previously pulled my soul out." Goku closed his eyes. The vibrations intensified. Then, the catastrophe happened. The planet exploded. Not an ordinary explosion, but a complete cosmic explosion. After the light of the great explosion faded, the Supreme Queen froze in place. The shock was not an ordinary one, but the shock of knowledge. All the creatures that had been on the planet were transferred into outer space, unharmed, surrounded by a mysterious protective aura, under the care of someone. Then he appeared, finally, the being who had been in the shadows, the one who had been watching from the beginning, the one who planned in silence. The queen stood staring at him. The shock in her eyes turned into blazing rage. She recognized him. One of the friends said in a trembling voice, "Who is this? Where did he come from?" Then the granddaughter stepped forward, her eyes filled with fear, and said, "But where is my grandfather? I don't see Goku." Another said in shock, "His body disappeared too. We were all transferred, but Goku and his body weren't." Stillness, silence, terror, questions without answers. Who is this being who has appeared now? What is his true nature? What is his relationship with the Supreme Queen? Why was Vegeta taken? And where is Goku? Is he dead? Write the answer yes or no, and if you know, I will release the next episode quickly.